Hi, you're watching AniVerse English. 3 days later, under the reign of Ying Zheng, the Azure Blue Academy and the War Academy merged, forming a new cultivation sect with a primary focus on martial arts. With the consolidation of these academies, the culture of cultivation began to thrive. Lin Qianxue was appointed as Ying Zheng's chief disciple, tasked with guiding the students along the path of cultivation. Under Ying Zheng's leadership, the newly formed sect was formally established and came to be known as the Qin sect. Simultaneously, the Martial Association began to closely monitor the development of the Qin sect and convened an important meeting at its headquarters. At the Martial Association headquarters, a figure stood at the center and addressed the gathering. Based on recent intelligence, the Qin sect is primarily dedicated to promoting the culture of cultivation, integrating various martial arts academies, and does not currently pose a threat to the city. This figure was none other than the president of the Martial Association, Bai Shu. He then inquired, "Do any of you have opinions on this matter?" One individual spoke up, "I had intended to extend an invitation to Ying Zheng to join the association, but when I attempted to do so yesterday, I was turned away at the door." Another person, identified as a scientist sporting Joker spectacles, suggested, "I propose a more drastic measure. We eliminate the Qin sect entirely, then apprehend Ying Zheng and subject him to cloning surgery in our laboratory." Bai Shu interjected, "None of these strategies seem viable. I propose a different approach. We should acknowledge the existence of the Qin sect and extend our support and cooperation to them." One individual, wearing a mask, objected, "This doesn't sit well with me." The girl beside him chimed in, "The Qin sect advocates cultivation, which differs from the principles of our martial association. Will they be willing to collaborate with us?" Another person raised a concern. "If we align ourselves with cultivators, can we still rightfully be called martial artists?" Bai Shu slammed his hands on the table in frustration and exclaimed, "Enough. We've all witnessed Ying Zheng's prowess in battle. I ask you all, who among us can match him?" Just then, a newcomer rushed in, delivering urgent news. Immediate report. A large number of monsters are swarming the shores, wreaking havoc in East Zhou City. Upon hearing the gravity of the situation, Bai Shu declared, "Listen up, everyone. Order the warriors under your command to mobilize and repel the monster invasion." The scene shifts to East Zhou City, where a tall building broadcasts the urgent news. A significant number of monsters have landed from the eastern coast. Citizens, please remain indoors and stay safe. The crowd below reacts with shock and disbelief as the monsters wreak havoc, displacing everything in their path. Meanwhile, on the front line of the battle, Lu Bu, engaged in combat with the monsters, exclaims, "Ha ha ha. Ever since I mastered Senior Ying Zheng's qi refining technique, my movements have become agile and precise." Lin Qianxue, standing on the sidelines, shouts out, "Senior Lu Bu, please exercise caution." Amidst the chaos, terrified citizens scramble through the streets, shouting warnings to each other, "Run." Suddenly, sharp glacial plateaus emerge from the ground, shattering the advancing monsters. Lin Qianxue raises her voice, "Every evil shall be punished. Everyone, evacuate this area immediately." The surrounding people recognize Lin Qianxue and her companions. They're disciples of the Qin sect. Some breathe a sigh of relief. They've finally returned. Lin Qianxue urges the crowd onward. "Keep moving to the next street. Leave no monsters standing." In the sky, the spiritual energy of the deceased monsters is being absorbed by Ying Zheng. He remarks, "With the assistance of the Qin sect disciples, the absorption of spiritual energy will be even more effective." Flying on Jiuying, Ying Zheng contemplates, "The master's wisdom knows no bounds, truly an emperor for all ages. With the aid of the Qin sect disciples, we need not worry about the shortage of spiritual power in the future." Suddenly, several flying head monsters approach Ying Zheng. He recognizes them as decapitated ghosts whose heads have the ability to fly. "I never anticipated the presence of ghosts and demonic beasts in the modern world," he remarks, preparing his aura. "Wait for me." However, before he can act, someone jumps in between, declaring, "Leave it to me." With a swift motion, he slashes down all the monsters. "Heroes always emerge at critical junctures, and I am that hero," he boasts. Identified as an A-class warrior and mech battle warrior, he adds, "Impressed by my skills, aren't you? Martial arts are commendable. Cultivation, not so much." At that moment, the two caution him as a larger monster appears. "Watch your back." But before they can react, the monster grabs the hero in its jaws. Witnessing the unfolding events, Ying Zheng sighs. This hero always leaps into action. He then resolves, it seems I must intervene myself. With determination, he leaps into the air, his hands weaving a powerful aura that materializes into the technique of the Manhwa stone tablet. This is the Manhwa stone, an exclusive token engraved with the great achievements of Qin, he announces. It has the power to suppress all demons for eternity. With a swift motion, the monster is crushed beneath the tablet, causing a tremendous explosion. From a distance, someone shouts in shock at the sight of the explosion. What in the world? Who unleashed a nuclear weapon? Another observes, such unimaginable power. It's shaking the very earth. Lu Bu explains, it must be the late emperor taking action. In the distance, a figure stands, contemplating the display of divine might. Only His Majesty could wield such power, he reflects. After traversing dimensions, I have finally found you, my lord. This figure is revealed to be Ming Tion, Ying Zheng's closest disciple. The news reporters broadcasted the horrifying event. This morning, a swarm of extraterrestrial monsters from the East Sea launched an attack on the city. It appears that Ying Zheng, the reincarnation of the ancient emperor, arrived and, with the disciples of the Qin sect, successfully repelled the monster invasion. Meanwhile, Ying Zheng continued to absorb the spiritual energy from the deceased monsters, musing to himself, the spiritual energy contained within these ghosts and monsters is even greater than I had anticipated. A short distance away, Lu Bu arrived on a motorcycle, urgently urging everyone to clear the path. The news reporters captured this scene, exclaiming, "Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, someone has driven a motorcycle into the scene." As Lu Bu approached, he realized with dismay, "Oh no! My red hair's brakes have failed." He struggled to halt the motorcycle, eventually jumping off and saluting, reporting to Your Majesty. All the monsters and ghosts within the city have been vanquished. Ying Zheng acknowledged his efforts, stating, "Excellent, your military achievements are duly noted." Lu Bu responded with gratitude. "Thank you, Your Majesty." Meanwhile, he reflected, to receive recognition from Emperor Qin, I am truly honored. I believe it won't be long before I am promoted and become a trusted and beloved general. Suddenly, a flash of light streaked across the sky at high speed. Reacting swiftly, Lu Bu drew his weapon and warned, "Enemy attack. A massive surge of spiritual energy is approaching. Your Majesty, be cautious." In the next instant, the powerful force descended to the ground, revealing itself to be none other than Ming Tion. He bowed respectfully and greeted, "Your Majesty. Martial Immortal General Ming Tion, your humble servant, has traversed dimensions and overcome obstacles to finally locate you." Ying Zheng stepped forward, extending his hand in welcome. I never imagined General Ming Tion would also descend to this mortal realm. Please, rise quickly. There's no need for such formalities. Observing Ming Tion's special status in the eyes of their master, Lu Bu frowned. I had hoped to become Emperor Qin's beloved general, but with General Ming Tion's arrival, I fear my chances have diminished. Ming Tion offered a reassuring smile. It's a lengthy tale. Ying Zheng inquired, what has been the state of affairs in the immortal realm since my tribulation failure? Ming Tion solemnly responded, following Your Majesty's tribulation failure, extraterritorial demons have launched frequent incursions into the great Qin immortal land. I've led our generals in fierce resistance. Regrettably, the demonic forces proved overwhelming, advancing swiftly and seizing control of more than a dozen immortal lands. Even tribes once loyal to the great Qin have defected, siding with the demons. It's akin to a dragon without its head without Your Majesty's presence. After careful deliberation among the generals, we conjectured that after Your Majesty's tribulation failure, you were drawn into a spatial vortex, thus finding yourself in the mortal realm. Elected by consensus, I journeyed through the mortal realm in search of Your Majesty. And now that we have finally reunited, I beseech Your Majesty to return to the immortal realm and lead our forces in vanquishing the demons. Ying Zheng responded, with my current level of cultivation, I lack the strength to immediately return to the immortal realm. I require time for further cultivation. Fortunately, I have established the Qin sect force, with countless disciples aiding in the collection of spiritual energy. This accelerates the enhancement of my cultivation. Ming Tion respectfully cupped his hands and declared, I am willing to offer my unwavering assistance to Your Majesty. Lu Bu chimed in, I pledge my allegiance to General Ming Tion and am prepared to serve as a high-ranking officer in the Qin sect. Amidst their conversation, Bai Shu arrived with his companions, announcing, all the immortal martial artists have assembled. Observing them, Ying Zheng pondered, martial artists capable of flying with qi? These individuals seem to possess considerable power. Bai Shu then introduced himself with a courteous gesture. I am Bai Shu, the president of the Martial Association. I've come to extend an invitation to Emperor Qin for cooperation. For the future of the Qin sect, I advise everyone. Before Bai Shu could finish his sentence, Lu Bu interjected, silence. His Majesty's might is incomparable. How can he possibly cooperate with mere mortals like you? Ming Tion added with caution, beware, Your Majesty, of uninvited guests. Incensed by the disrespect, one of Bai Shu's companions rushed forward, shouting, The invitation from the Martial Association is a gesture of utmost respect for you. Bai Shu called out from behind, Please, do not act rashly. Ming Tion's eyes blazed with fury. How dare you bark like a spineless dog in front of His Majesty? With swift action, he grasped his spear and struck, resulting in the unfortunate demise of the individual. The crowd reacted with disbelief. How could this happen? Bai Shu, trembling with fear, muttered, A single general effortlessly defeated 2 A-rank martial artists. The true power of Emperor Qin must be even more terrifying, reaching unprecedented levels. I foolishly sought cooperation with the Qin sect, greatly overestimating myself. Ming Tion calmly stated, Though dimensional travel has impacted my cultivation, it suffices to handle a few unwelcome guests. Witnessing Ming Tion's formidable power, Lu Bu's eyes shimmered with admiration. Senior Ming Tion is truly remarkable. In a display of contrition, Bai Shu knelt down and apologized. We, the juniors, have been blind to Mount Tai. I beseech Emperor Qin's forgiveness. I am willing to offer vital information regarding the Celestial Grassland's secret realm. Ying Zheng inquired, The Celestial Grassland's secret realm? Is it the location of the elusive Immortal Island? Bai Shu affirmed, Precisely. Merely yesterday, the enigmatic, Celestial Grassland's secret realm emerged from the depths of the sea. Without warning, the eastern nation of Ying Island launched an invasion, seizing territory that rightfully belongs to our esteemed Qin dynasty. Not content with their aggressive expansion, they drove monstrous creatures from Ming Island into the heart of our lands, instigating assaults upon our major cities. Clearly, the people of Ying Island harbor nothing but hostile intentions towards us. Ying Zheng's lip curled in a derisive sneer. So, Ying Island, once a backwater realm, now dares to display such brazen arrogance. It is likely that during Su Fu's historic voyage, he lent support to factions on Ying Island, fostering this newfound audacity. With resolve hardening in his voice, he proclaimed, Foreign incursions run rampant, plunging the world into chaos. I must personally lead the charge to reclaim the Celestial Grassland's secret realm and eradicate the threat posed by Ying Island. And with that decree, he set forth. From behind, Bai Shu, his loyal attendant, spoke with reverence, Emperor Qin's might is unparalleled. With your leadership, the expedition to reclaim Ying Island is assured of success. Ying Zheng turned to General Ming Tion and Jiao Ying, his gaze steely and determined. Listen closely. Tomorrow, accompany me and Lin Xianxue to the Celestial Grassland secret realm. We shall purge the Japanese pirates from Ying Island once and for all. Ming Tion respectfully bowed, his obedience evident in his reply. I shall carry out your decree, Your Majesty, unwaveringly. Meanwhile, Jiao Ling interjected with a suggestion. Master, allow me to accompany you instead. Leave Lin Xianxue behind. With a pleading expression in his eyes, Lu Bu added his request. Your Majesty, I also yearn to partake in this overseas expedition, to rid us of those barbarians. Ying Zheng responded firmly, I have already made arrangements. Lu Bu, he continued, addressing the warrior, take charge of the Qin sect disciples and safeguard our coastline. Prevent the monsters from Ying Island from encroaching upon our eastern shores and imperiling our people. Assured, Lu Bu nodded with determination. Understood, he affirmed, though, under his breath, he muttered, such favoritism. Emperor Qin has entrusted me with a weighty responsibility. Then, raising his voice, he reassured, Rest assured, Your Majesty. With me, Lu Bu, standing guard, not a single monster will advance. Observing the proceedings, Bai Shu pondered, Emperor Qin demonstrates decisive leadership in military matters. Under his guidance, Huaxia will undoubtedly reclaim the Celestial Grassland's secret realm and emerge victorious over Ying Island. A vast multitude assembled near the sea the following day, eagerly awaiting the departure. Among them stood Lin Xianxue, who remarked, Such a large gathering to bid us farewell. The coastal citizens' enthusiasm is palpable. Jiuling nodded in agreement. Indeed, such grandeur is fitting for His Majesty's imperial departure. As Ying Zheng made his way through the crowd, murmurs of determination echoed. We cannot allow foreign invaders to trample upon Huaxia. Emperor Qin will surely return victorious. Others voiced their support, urging the emperor to eradicate the Japanese threat. Those who bring harm to Huaxia, even from afar, deserve punishment. Your Majesty, please extinguish the Japanese menace. Surveying the crowd, Ying Zheng found himself taken aback. I never anticipated such a turnout of citizens bidding us farewell. From the sidelines, a girl summoned the courage to speak. Senior Ying Zheng, I admire you. Could I trouble you for an autograph? Continuing onward, Bai Shu approached, extending a greeting. Emperor Qin, my team of engineers has prepared a ship for your journey. A man, introducing himself as Edison, stepped forward. Greetings, Emperor Qin. I am Edison. He gestured towards the ship, explaining, this vessel has been meticulously crafted by the research department of the Martial Association. It will ensure your Majesty's voyage is smooth and unimpeded. Ying Zheng scrutinized the ship. This iron vessel appears cumbersome. I wonder how long our journey to the secret realm will take. Allow me to offer an alternative, he continued. With a sweeping motion of his hands, he conjured a shimmering portal in the sky. From within the portal emerged a majestic dragon-headed vessel named the Yuang boat. Onlookers gazed in astonishment. A dragon boat descending from the heavens, remarked one. It's as if magic has summoned it from thin air, exclaimed another. Without hesitation, Ying Zheng leapt onto the Yuang boat. This vessel, he announced, is the Yuang boat, used by Great Yu during the ancient flood control. It glides like a flying dragon, covering 1,000 miles in a day. Bai Shu's brow furrowed in disbelief. Wasn't the Yuang boat merely a legend? He wondered aloud. Edison shook his head, perplexed. This defies all scientific explanation. With a resolute command, the Yuang boat descended upon the water's surface. Set sail. Depart, Ying Zheng declared. As the vessel embarked on its journey, voices from the shore bid farewell. Farewell, they cried. We eagerly await your Majesty's return. Meanwhile, on board the boat, Tion addressed the crew. When firing, he instructed, aim true and maintain stability at the rear to ensure a decisive blow against the enemy. Meanwhile, Ying Zheng sat cross-legged, immersed in deep contemplation. As the spiritual energy stabilizes and with further cultivation, I should be able to reach the golden core stage soon, he mused. At that moment, Jiuling approached, clad in a swimming costume, and suggested, cultivation can be tedious. Why not join me for a swim, my lord? Lin Qianxue interjected sharply, Jiuling, this is a crucial moment for conquering the celestial grassland's secret realm, Ending Island. Senior is deeply meditating. Please refrain from causing disturbance. Jiuling countered, Huh? What do you mean by causing trouble? You simply don't understand fun. No wonder you've always been single. Lin Qianxue retorted, better than seducing seniors every day and disturbing military morale. Ying Zheng, observing their bickering with amusement, intervened. Enough of the noise. There are fluctuations in spiritual energy in the nearby waters. There must be some small fry approaching. In the next moment, a massive monster emerged from the water, its gaze fixated hungrily. Prey has come to the door. Let me feast upon it. Reacting swiftly, Tion leapt into action, shouting, How dare a mere little fish approach the imperial vessel of His Majesty? The monster retorted, its voice echoing with menace, Little mortal, dare you strike the face of the great demon of the sea? Ying Zheng pondered inwardly, recalling a distant memory. I vaguely remember, during my journey to Jifu in the east, I used a giant crossbow to slay a monstrous fish. It seems to belong to the same demon race. He recollected an excerpt from the Records of the Grand Historian, Annals of Emperor Qin, which chronicled his encounter. Arriving at Jifu, he beheld a colossal fish and dispatched it with his divine crossbow. The sea demon caught sight of Ying Zheng and experienced a sudden recognition. Wait a moment, this black-clad youth seems oddly familiar. I've encountered him before. Let me consult the ancestral records. As the sea demon perused the ancient texts, his expression shifted abruptly. Oh no, he's our archenemy. The ancestral teachings warn of his divine crossbow. Future generations encountering him must show respect and avoid conflict. I've truly stirred up trouble this time. Ying Zheng addressed the sea demon sternly. You possess eyes yet fail to recognize Mount Tai. The sea demon bowed deeply, his demeanor contrite. I was merely passing by. If I have offended, I humbly seek your forgiveness. Infused with spiritual energy, Ying Zheng's voice thundered with anger. Obstructing the path of our Qin sect's vessel, can we let such transgression slide? The sea demon trembled in fear. Please spare me. I am the last of my clan. My demise would signify the extinction of my lineage. Jiaoling chimed in eagerly, Master, allow me to cook it into a sumptuous braised grilled fish for everyone. Lin Qinshui interjected, suggesting an alternative, braised? Perhaps steamed would be better. A fish of this size could provide sustenance for us for quite some time. Ming Tion, meanwhile, remarked with surprise, who would have thought that accompanying your majesty on this voyage would also satisfy our appetites? With his majesty, there's always meat to eat, he added with a grin. A hunger-driven enthusiasm spread among the crew. Eat, 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 they cheered in unison. The sea demon, sensing an opportunity, adopted a pleading expression. Are you heading to the celestial grassland secret realm? I know a shortcut and could guide you part of the way. Ying Zheng deliberated briefly. We must extract all possible value from this creature. Let the demon lead the way first, then it can serve as food later. With determination, he spoke. Consider yourself fortunate. Today, we shall spare you. Lead us to the celestial grassland secret realm. Grateful tears welled in the sea demon's eyes as he nodded in acknowledgement. Thank you for your mercy. One stick of incense later. The sea demon delivered troubling news. The celestial grassland secret realm has been completely sealed off by the forces from Ming Island. They've deployed powerful Onmyoji to cast a magical barrier. Any attempt by monsters to breach it is futile. Ying Zheng remained undeterred. The barrier may thwart monsters, but not living beings. Look, the barrier lies just ahead. As they approached the celestial grassland secret realm, Ying Zheng leapt into the air, proclaiming confidently, a mere barrier. I can shatter it with a snap of my fingers. Channeling his spiritual powers, he commanded, Langya Stone, appear. With his directive, the spiritual stone effortlessly dispersed the barrier. Within the realm, a figure wielding a fan advanced, demanding, who dares trespass into the celestial grassland secret realm? Beside him, another figure urged, there's no time for parleying. Emperor Ying has decreed that intruders must be swiftly dispatched. Ying Zheng wasted no time. All officials, heed my command. Eradicate all foreign invaders. Ming Tion and the others nodded in agreement. Yes,